Daddy, won't you take me to Muhlenberg County? Da da da. Good evening, guys. This is a test of the Schmuel broadcasting system. Last night was such a disaster that I just wanted to make sure that everything worked so that tomorrow's stream will actually function because I'm not going to have a lot of time beforehand. So there you go. But we'll be off pretty quick because NJ Ranger and Flimsy are coming on, and those are the cats that I actually want to watch. Um, yes, I am a sneaky Pete Drunken Donuts. I was testing something in EVMux, EvMux, whatever the mux you want to call it, and I just wanted to see if what I thought was what I thought. And in EvMux, when you schedule a stream, apparently, I'm probably in all the software, but when you schedule a stream and then you do an one-off sort of go live, it puts up that stream. Yeah, show prep. I just, what do you call it? No, I wanted to go on earlier today. I had some time, but Dave was on, so I didn't want to do that. And then I wanted to go on at 6 for a little bit. I was watching Brennan, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Tax Talk with Chad and KB. I couldn't imagine anything worse. But yeah, I have issues with. I've been having issues in EVMux, 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 whatever, with the chat. The chat in on YouTube is showing up quicker and more than on my panel on EV, and so I kind of wanted to check that out. And some of the super tips, like I saw a super tip last night that I didn't see, or super chat that I didn't see over on EVMux, but I was laughing because I'm such an asshole. At some point, we were sniping Karmic, and I saw one of you guys super chat him, and I was like, "Wow, why didn't that come up on my screen?" And I realized because it was for Karmic, it wasn't for Schmuel. Um, so, Mint, Diggity, that was a bad MLC. MLC is bad. That was fucking awful. And I didn't see very much of it, but that whole like tax talk, Kevin is too smart to be what's the word that I'm looking for? He's too fucking smart to believe what he's saying. And Chad is an idiot. I mean, anybody that thinks that YouTube is taking out and holding your taxes is just goddamn dumb. So yeah, it was like super frustrating, and whatnot. The old I don't watch it. The old I don't watch it defense. I don't. I was watching it today, man. I wouldn't be talking about it if I didn't watch it. But boy, it was brutal. I haven't seen it in a while. I kind of wanted to see what he was saying about Karmic, and then I saw something earlier, and Karmic is at that point, I guess, had been blowing KB, and so KB was like, "Yeah, this is like he's got it right. I'm the big guy, whatever it was." I guess he'd sent Kevin $100, and then but this morning with Karmic was shitting all over Brennan. So it was like in and out. That Karmic stuff was pretty brutal. But yeah, holy shit. But the Chad and Kevin and talking about Mersh and stuff, I mean, it was pitiful. And that, like, how old was that Red Bar clip that he had up? And look, somebody's got to prepare this stuff for Kevin, right? Like, I don't think he pulls this shit out. Does he do those clips himself? I just can't see Kevin like going back through Red Bar to find it. So somebody's got to tell him. Uh, and from my experience here, there are a bunch of snitches that like they want to cause trouble or cause a fight or whatever. So maybe that's why they're sending them back. Um, yeah, cigarette. Hold on a sec. I'm gonna light this cigar. Probably the last office in America you can smoke in. Cigarette Jones, Stealth Chaos is back, Schmuel. I know. I actually was sucking him up or sucking up to him yesterday because I wanted to get him on, and I didn't. Now I see that he, what do you call it? I don't know whether he was just promoting Musk and Mir or whether he's going on there tonight. So that's it. Yeah, I did. I did. I can like show you the DMs and shit. He didn't seem interested in coming on with old Schmuely, but you know that was yesterday, and Stealth changes by the day because like by last night he was out completely, and now I hear he's back. Yeah, all right. So he's going on. Yeah. So you know, Schmuel lost you that one, but then after last night, I'm amazed anybody wants to do anything with me. Tomorrow night we've got Dixon and Levy. I had to change that around, and yeah, Drunken Donuts. Are we allowed to ask questions? Yeah, this is really just a chat stream to just check shit out. So feel free. Don't necessarily know that I'm going to answer them, but you're certainly welcome to ask them as long as it's not like Frank and if it's you know Israel, Palestine, and you know Djibouti, because I'm not smart enough to know that stuff. Um, all right, but let's just go back real quick. The Kevin and Chad thing was bad. The whole tax thing is really stupid. Um, ATP is peddling the same info he's been peddling for however long, since Melton went after him for boiling a steak. Um, so, uh, Drunken Donuts is actually a good question. I get there in 1 second. So, don't let me forget. The yeah, this whole thing, like the tax thing and the IRS thing and whatnot, is it's all such bullshit. And it's literally just like it's red meat for the morons, I guess. Um, and, and look, I have to believe that Brennan is smarter than that. Like, so it's and that's kind of like the thing about Kevin that I think is attractive is that people think this is Kevin, right? Like you're seeing the real Kevin, and this just feels too much like he's putting it together. Um, oh, Frankfurt. Speaking of Frank, who's also I think Frank is a person who is at not somebody in Twitter because the questions are basically the same. Did you ask Brian Landon why he said you were handing out money while the former seemed to be really, really high? Patent right. I did, Brian, you know, he didn't budge. And but the story kind of changed with Brian because at first it was like first of all, it was like a year and a half ago at the first Hackmania. Then it was supposedly in Atlantic City, and then uh, the what do you call it? But you know, Brian knows, and I know that it wasn't true. But hey, man, it's a great gimmick. And so you're left to believe one of us. But why would I be handing out 20s? And I just also think that if I were handing out 20s, it wouldn't have taken a year and a half for people to see it. And uh, it would have been out in the open. And I will say to you that I wasn't with Pat the entire time he was at Hackmania, but I was there with him a lot. And he went out with a lot of people. And I can say the dude was not high. Um, If anything, he was very sober because Pat's a thoughtful guy. All right. Now, Drunken Donuts is a more important question. Drunken Donuts 2348. Okay, great. I don't want to be rude here. I think your wife's name is Cookie, which it is. What I imagine you're saying, what does she think about all this? She's lost, guys. She has zero idea why I find any of this interesting. She does like when we went to the events, we had a good time. It was fun. But she's she doesn't really get the Dabbleverse. But my wife likes to watch those what the hell is that show? Below Deck, right? Like she likes Below Deck and she likes the cooking shows. And so it's like that's reality TV. And I say that that's my this is my reality TV. And I don't know why I'm so interested in it, but I am. Let me see if I can turn that up. This is muting it is not the solution, is it, my friend? All right. See, this is the deal. EV Mux, this is why we're testing it. EV Mux is a pain when it comes to this. I don't get a mic setting, and it's at 100% volume on my settings. So let's take a quick look at G Hub and see where it is there. And the G Hub thing is really kind of a pain in the ass, but it would just be nicer to have the other setting, and we don't have a lot of time. Blah, 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 blah. I don't think the side tone thing is it. And I guess media, let's just say, this is for me, found, undo, share preset, blah, 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 blah. Man, this is not helping me out here. So I'm going to try to just speak loudly if that will help. All right. And I'll give it a little more enthusiasm. Thank you, Roy Cohn. It was better for a second. I have a feeling that, let's just go here. This is weird. It's got like oh, there we go. If you press the little microphone button to change things. All right. I'm at the max on the mic. So I could do a signal cleanup. I could change my voice. I could go to AM radio. And now I'm really blasting you guys out. Or broadcaster 1 mode. All right. So let's just say 43 people watching Schmuel test stream. Let's see if Lifeform beats that tonight with their episode on Karmic X. I bet it's a close call. Thank you, Sam. Speaking of which, I will be debating, for lack of a better word, Dr. Chow on Hughesy's show Friday. I think it's 6 o'clock, either 6 or 7 p.m. Eastern. So that should be fun. I have no idea what we're debating. I have no idea what we're talking about. Hughes it's going to be fun. So we'll see. And this has been a long time in the making. Hughes had asked me, I'm going to guess about a month ago, maybe a little bit more, to debate Dan. And then Dan wouldn't do it. So then he said, how about Chow? And I said, sure. And then I never really heard anything. And I was talking to Sarah at the time. And I said to Sarah that I didn't think it would be interesting. And I think Sarah said that then Sarah repeated that to me being not interested, and it never got off the ground. So I wasn't aware that Sarah had talked to anybody about it until I saw Chow say something. So I want to be clear that I am there. But this is not a what's the word that I'm looking for? Um, this is not like, to me, this isn't a competition, and there's plenty of room for everybody. So and there's millions and millions and millions of people that watch YouTube. So if we're quibbling over 43 people, we're at the very, very bottom. Garrett is a hack. You're a ball washing gatekeeper, Buckman. 100%. If I knew what either of those things meant, I hear those terms a lot. I haven't quite figured out their definition. Seems to be malleable depending upon who's saying it, or who's on the saying it end and who's on the receiving end. So we'll figure it out. Hold on a second. Mr. Buckman, you said the other evening that you weren't going to entertain my questions. What did you mean by that? I don't know. What were the questions? Dude, I don't know. I don't know. Of course, please answer me. You said you weren't going to entertain the direction when it comes to answering questions. It might have been that night. I mean, look, dude, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I got to know what the questions are. But sometimes what happens is we're heading down a path, and it may be a loose and very wide path, but we're heading down a path, and some of the questions can be so far afield that it just doesn't make any sense for me to answer them. OG mumbling, Nick, no topic debates are my favorite. I have zero idea what we're doing, Nick. But you know, I'm happy to do it, and particularly for a guy like Chow, who's such a troller. But you know, I wouldn't want anyone to be confused that I have a problem going on face to face with him. So yeah, and look, QZ is a goddamn funny person, so I would imagine that he'll make it hilarious, and we'll go. Stuart Jones, are you going to wear a tuxedo for the award show on Saturday? I thought about it. I may do a shirt or jacket. I don't know. I have to go to an open house, open house Christmas party Saturday night, and Dave has not gotten back to me yet with a time. So I don't really know what the schedule is. So probably no tuxedo. Had I had more time, I could have planned it. I don't even know if my friggin' tuxedo shirt would fit anymore. There we go. I've been lucky enough to have lost a bunch of weight. So there you go. So I don't know, but Dave has been working really hard, and from what I understand, he's going to try to be putting it up like formal or something. All right. I have, hold on one second, my boys. Oh, sunset. Correcto, Roy Cohn Esquire. Happy Hanukkah. Brian Landon test stream. What's up with Schmuel sound? I don't know. What's up with my sound, Brian? That's why we're here. We're testing this. Yeah, so Chick-fil-A took 67. It's not an order number anymore because of what they were doing. Nasty Neil is here. YouTube seems to have changed your names, guys. So some of you, wow. Anyway, some of you have changed names. So I'm like not knowing whether you're you or an alt account. But there you go. So I'm only going to be here for a few minutes. So Brian Landon's test stream. Brian, I'm asking you the question. People keep asking me about handing out $20 bills on the casino floor, and I didn't. But and I did actually send you an email, and I said that I would. I was near somebody at one point who was giving, not handing out money, but took his wallet out and was giving money to people to go to White Castle. I thought maybe you confused it with that, but I think you like the more that I just did it. So there we go. And Drunken Donuts questions, I don't really necessarily mind questions, but sometimes, like with Frank, they're not. It's not appropriate at that time. Not that they're inappropriate questions, but I'll just use him as an example. And whoever Moon Crickets is, did you know that OG Mumbling Nick got doxxed on Christmas Day, coming this Xmas Day? Uh, I, I guess we're making a joke. I know Nick got doxxed last year. I didn't know it was Christmas, and I thought it was Stuttering John. And I know he's pissed at Liquid Cryptid, but he should really be pissed at OG Mumbling Nick. I'm very fucking confused. And no, I have never heard of a Portuguese tuxedo, but I have heard of a Cleveland steamer. 3 years ago. Oh, it's Christmas Day. I didn't know that. So Mint Diggity, be careful with Yuzu Schmuel. Working with Chow behind the scenes. I mean, what are they going to do? Show naked pictures of me? I don't really know. I'm I really am paint trying. So let's go there. I'm going to move up to A.S. Smith. They have crickets on the moons. I'll bet when you're up on the moon, you think you're hearing crickets because it's so quiet, right? You're probably hearing everything. I don't know. Is there a wind? Yes, Todd. I'm absolutely addicted to going live because I'm live so often. And streaming on, that's a good one. I have a few candidates for you. A Portuguese tuxedo, I'm sorry, is going to a wedding wearing a jean shirt and jean pants. See, and I thought it was going to be involving shit. So good for the Portuguese. But I think Portugal is on the agenda for there. And yes, they are going to show naked photos of you. It's going to hurt you fuckers a lot more than it hurts me. That's for sure. So that would be that'd be great. That'd be great. What do you call it? And it's supposed to be a Portuguese breakfast. Leo Gunn steps in to correct us all. Leo, guess who called me last night immediately following the show about their car breaking down? And it was very funny. But we could talk about that. Isn't that a Canadian tuxedo? Oh my God, we could get into this, right? Tuxedo talk. And Sam, I grew up in Canada. You're exactly right, but it was always making fun of Portuguese people. So we would call a Canadian tuxedo, and Canadians would call it a Portuguese tuxedo. Maybe, I don't know. And as I've found out my history going back, I always thought we had Portuguese, but we didn't. It turns out that we were in some place that was Portuguese. I don't really know, but one day I'm going to have to break down the discovery of my family history because it's pretty interesting, I think. Drunken Donuts. Are there a lot of Portuguese people in Canada? I'm going to bet that there were. There's a lot in Massachusetts too. So I knew about that. Um, but Sam Bibley, this is the deal. The deal is that Husey, Jesus Christ, Flimsy and NJ Ranger Live will be tonight, and so that'll kill everybody else. Um, Nasty Neil, yeah, a lot here in Mass. Family grew up in Fall River, and there were. I just remember like visiting as a kid, like Fall River in New Bedford, and there were a lot of Portuguese people or whatever. Um, so uh, I can't even be bothered with this riggedy wrecked son. I have no idea what the fuck that means, but we're not going to go in there. Um, Neil, you're on the Cape, right? So that's like the most depressing thing in the world. So there's two things that I found very depressing in traveling in life. One was coming through Pennsylvania and getting into Ohio and thinking, oh man, Cleveland, it's got to be 10 minutes away. And it takes fucking forever. And the Cape, same thing. Like you get into Massachusetts and you think, ah, this is great. And then you get on the fucking Cape and you're driving and driving and driving. And like you never get there. And then the deal is you do get there and you spend the weekend and then you got to fucking drive all the way back. I can't do it. I need to do like a John Kennedy Jr. and fly, although I'll try to keep the plane upside down, right side up. Sorry. This is Sprite for you kids. I don't know, I got the blur on. And but that's the Cape. And it's funny, we think when we were talking about Felicia Gillespie, I dated a young lady whose family had a house on the Cape. When the parents retired, they built a house on the Cape. And she is the closest thing I've ever dated to somebody like Felicia. And except she was cute. She was well endowed, tight, and also Lebanese. So, but it was, but she was the kind of chick that like every single emotion she had to express it. It was like everything and like everything, you know? And, you know, if you put your shoes in the wrong place, you have to talk about that. Just every little, like we'd go into a restaurant and there would be a fan on and she'd be like, oh, that's making me feel uncomfortable. Then we turn it off. I'm like, holy shit. And Todd LeCoq, speaking of, Neil should make a Cape Fear with SJ as De Niro, Meanie as Juliette Lewis. SJ as in Cape Fear? I don't see it. I don't see it. So in any event, Todd, I was Joey C as Nolte for some comic relief. So I was thinking about the year today because supposed to do a show tomorrow night with Bob and Dixon. And it was kind of like maybe a look back at the year. And what happened to Joey C? Like, whew, talk about a guy that disappeared. So there we go with that. Ray. Joey take a visit to I-80. No problem. But I did see that Joey had a birthday. Am I correct in that? I guess he had a birthday, but last I saw him online, he was basically telling Karmic that, you know, Karmic's entire YouTube life depended upon Joey or something, and Joey would put him down. So There we go. All right, we're gonna wrap this thing up in a few minutes. So overall, sound wise, can you hear me? All right, I'm lost on the Morty part. I don't really remember Cape Fear. I remember Cape Fear with Robert Mitchum. I was never a huge De Niro fan. I don't know why. I mean, he's fantastic in Taxi Driver, about my speed for my age, and he was great in that. But I don't really find him all that amazing in other stuff. Uh, Toddler Hawk. Joey told me it's time for Family and Faith or some scam. Can't remember. Um, yeah, look, I'm kind of surprised. I really thought that what money he was making from this was he needed it, like needed it. So, and I really thought he was going to be a star. But let's be honest, or Joey does have a history of starting things and never following through on them. So maybe this was just one more of those things. That's the dementia. Joey's are mine. Um, so I did. I insisted on taking one of those cognitive tests, and it's funny because it's like you slowed down, but thank God uh, I didn't slow down too much. Um, you can't remember because your brain is dying. Well, yes, everyone's brain is sort of dying, right? But it's you lose that neuroplasticity, so the quickness, the sharpness. And what's funny about that is you can tell that it's a big deal to people because if you walk into CVS, the one vitamin that you're going to see locked up more than any other is that Prevagen shit, the stuff that old people take to keep from getting dementia. And, of course, they steal it and did the old Uncle Leo and say, "Oh, I forgot that I had it." But it's in one of those big giant plastic cases. It's also bullshit too, but that's a story for another time. In any event, all right, kids, I think we're gonna rock and roll out of here. Um, let's do it. Nasty Neil, you do your regular show is on Thursdays. That is correct? Correct. Um, so let's give Nasty Neil a plug. Um, do you have one of those old people pill sorters? Um, I hate to admit it. I do. I don't use it, but I do have one. I actually, the only thing I use it for is like when I go on vacation, I do it. And trying to, that's like vitamin shit. My fucking vitamins are always low. And take that, but I got to take the blood pressure medicine, the Lipitor, you know, all that stuff. So there you go. But Garrett is a hack. I'm 64. I had a heart attack when I was 39. So this is not like taking pills is not something that's like new to me in the last couple of years. And Purple Drake, that's dextromethorphan and guaifenesin, maybe? Is that what Purple Drink is? Um, dudes, you really like not being around in the 80s with drugs like with crack and what you guys call purple drink. I guess the 90s maybe. Like it was fucked up just because you just see people fucked up all the time. I don't really see that stuff. Uh Damn, that sucks, man. Way too young for that. Yeah, I will, but I got lucky, right? I mean, here I am now. Uh didn't kill me. And I got very lucky. It actually happened in Cleveland, Ohio. Um, we like to say in front of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but it wasn't actually that. And I didn't actually have like a heart attack, kind of heart attack. I'd had a heart attack before and it was very hot. It was a July 4th weekend, I think. And I just felt really sick. And was taking my nephew and his girlfriend with my then, I don't know if she was my wife yet, but in any event, uh, and I was just felt really sick. And I went into the bathroom at like a TGI Fridays, one of those places, a giant mirror, and I was looking at myself in the mirror, and I just remember thinking that if anybody else told me the symptoms that they were having, I would tell them they're having a heart attack. And it turned out that I had had one, I guess, earlier that day. And um, next thing you knew, I was being cracked open, but they did a new surgery there, which is the scar on my arm. I don't know if you can see it. Um, and they created another artery. So I'm good like that. All right. Thank you, Nasty Neil. I'm glad that I'm here as well. And if I keep smoking cigars, I'm not going to be. But this is a habit I picked up a couple of years ago, and it's been getting progressively worse. I have like, I think you might know about this. I have like sort of an obsessive personality, and I would normally do it with food, and I haven't been doing it with food, and that's kind of what started with the cigars because it was like the cigars would take the place of that. But now I think they're becoming a problem, and so much of a problem that I have committed to quitting. And which will lead me into over, I think, in the next week or so. Um, I think we're going to start with not New Year's resolutions necessarily, but like what we're going to do. I was laughing this morning because I think the year is now like 93 or 94% over. And I was looking at some stuff, and I have some old DMs from one of the dabblers in here who was going to change their life last year. And all of their New Year's resolutions. And I do a thing where I sit down every year and I kind of do it. There we go. At what point do you step in to ensure Sarah doesn't royally screw up the Dabble Awards? It's going to have to happen. Look, technology wise, there's nobody better than Dave. I'm my only concern that I have. I think Dave will be fine. I think it'd be great. My only concern is that Dave keep his mouth shut before we go there, because I think the numbers are coming out and they're amazing him. And thank you, Johnny Mac, for the John Mac 86 for the 515. I think he's very surprised on the numbers. So I don't think they're ice dancer technology is fine. Spelling, not so much. But look, Dave put this together. And a lot of people talked about doing it. So I don't know how how could he screw it up that's going to make it worse. No matter what happens, no matter who gets selected, nobody's going to fucking believe it anyway. They're all going to argue about it. They're going to complain the fix was in. This is like last year with Carlos Danger, where Carlos wanted you to log in, and he did that because he wanted to make it fair, and then everybody complained about having to log in. And like with and Dave is at least Dave is doing something similar, so they're trying to keep track of it. But I think that we have a significant, I shouldn't say we, I think Dave has a significant number of people voting. So there's got to be at least a few hundred. So I think that's pretty cool. But John Mac 86, haven't you heard I'm a ball washer? So I'm not going to say anything bad about Dave. But my only real fear with Dave is that he's got such a big mouth that he's going to wind up blowing it. And I kind of wanted to do it more formally than he did, but it's his show. So I'm just fucking, a mouth, and another mouth. But I thought it would have been fun if we did get dressed up and we did try to do it like an award show. But that also gets complicated because we could have, I was thinking like getting Lady KB, maybe wear a dress and like ask some people questions, maybe try to find an audience. But I don't, I don't know. Dave definitely has it in his mind, and he's gonna do it. And look, we know that Dave is, special, right? So he's gonna do it. He's gonna do it his way. Because this is Dave, right? He gets his mind on something, and it fucking he runs it, and then we won't see him again for 3 weeks after this is over. But I really like Dave, and if it weren't for Dave and Decline Host, I wouldn't be here today. All right. Um, I should put Chris Mack. I should put on a shirt and tie and offer moral support backstage. Yeah. Um, I kind of was like thinking about the tux, and I was thinking about a suit, and I have to be honest with you, I'm just fucking like, uh, it just seems like too much work. Like I feel like I would pull it off, but then I'm gonna get bumped or something like that. All right. So the best way to this is John Mack. The best way to motivate him is tell him that he can't pull it off. That would work with Dave. Some other people would just shut down, but that would work with Dave. All right. I think we need to get out of here, but let me see if I can find out what I'm doing. What am I doing? I have no idea. All right. That's not a surprise. So let's go to my channel and see if I can. Oh, I can't do. I don't think I can do. No, I cannot. I was going to try to redirect over to uh, NJ and Flims, but I don't know how. Oh wait, maybe we can. Maybe we can. Hold on. Da 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 da. Sorry, guys. I know it's torturous putting up with me. Imagine being my wife, um, and having to do that. All right, let's see here. We go to is it stream? I think yes, and edit customization and redirect. There we go. And let's see if we can get him on there. This is weird though. At NJ RA. By the time I fucking get this done, there'll be 2 of you left in the room, right? So what's the point? Ah, look at that. I found it. All right. Redirecting you kids. And oh, guess what? Can't do it because NJ has to give permission, and I don't have it. All right. Anyway, I haven't worn this cashmere sport coat I bought a few months ago yet. I could throw that on too. Um, yeah, I believe me, I know. I was going through clothes this weekend and I found one. Um, so there we go. All right. So y'all, it's you know where it is. It's at NJ Ranger 201 on YouTube. Go over there and watch and have a great time. I will see you all tomorrow, and let's hope that our guests make it and you're not stuck with me. Good night.